Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today we are diving deep into the world of rare and valuable Washington quarter dollar coins. These coins might look ordinary at first glance, but hidden among them are pieces worth an incredible amount of money. Some of these rare quarters have sold for millions of dollars at auctions and coin markets, making them highly sought after by collectors worldwide. In this video we are going to explore the top 8 most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins in all of history, their background, why they are rare, and their current market value that reaches into the millions of dollars. So stay tuned until the end because you do not want to miss any of these incredible coins that could still be sitting in someone's pocket change today. Today we are going to talk about the 1978 Washington quarter dollar coin. This coin may look like an ordinary quarter that you might still see in circulation today, but what many people don't know is that there are rare varieties and conditions of the 1978 Washington quarter that can make them worth an incredible amount of money. In fact, one rare 1978 quarter has been valued at an astonishing $9 million in the current coin market. So make sure you stay tuned because you might just find one of these valuable treasures in your own pocket change or coin collection. The Washington quarter series has a long and proud history. It was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The design by John Flanagan featured the profile of Washington on the obverse, or front side, and an American eagle on the reverse. The quarter became one of the most recognized and widely used coins in the United States, and for decades it was made primarily out of silver. However, starting in 1965, the composition was changed from 90% silver to a copper-nickel clad, which is what you will also find in the 1978 Washington quarter. By 1978, the quarter had been in circulation for many years, and millions of these coins were minted. The Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint both struck these quarters. The Philadelphia Mint coins do not carry a mint mark while the Denver Mint coins have a small D mint mark located on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. In normal circulated condition, these coins are typically worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, collectors know that not all coins are created equal. Small differences in minting, striking quality, or rare errors can make certain quarters extremely rare and valuable. So why is one 1978 Washington quarter worth an unbelievable $9 million? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. A special coin like this could be tied to a minting error, such as a double die strike, an off-center strike, or being struck on a silver planchet when it was not supposed to be. These types of minting mistakes are highly prized by collectors. On top of that, if a coin is found in pristine, uncirculated condition with full details, known as mint state or proof-like quality, its value increases dramatically. That is exactly what happened with the legendary 1978 Washington quarter that sold for a record price in the coin market. Another reason this coin is so valuable is its history. Collectors value coins not just for the metal they contain but also for the story they tell. The 1978 Washington quarter comes from a period just before major changes to U.S. coinage designs, making it part of an important era in American coin history. For some collectors, owning such a rare specimen is like owning a piece of living history, a link between the everyday coins we use and the artistry and craftsmanship of the mint. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1978 Washington quarter. In average circulated condition, these coins are worth between 25 cents and a few dollars. In uncirculated mint state condition, values can rise into the hundreds depending on the grade. A flawless coin graded by professional services can even fetch thousands. But the crown jewel is the rare error and high-grade variety that has been valued at a jaw-dropping $9 million. That is life-changing money for a coin that could easily have gone unnoticed in someone's change jar or pocket. Imagine walking into a store, getting change for your purchase, and later realizing that the ordinary quarter you received was actually worth millions. Stories like these are what make coin collecting so exciting. They remind us that treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with a sharp eye and knowledge about what to look for. So, what should you look for in your 1978 Washington quarters? First, check for the mint mark to see if it is from Philadelphia or Denver. Next, examine the coin closely for any doubling of letters, unusual shapes, or striking errors. Also, Pay attention to the condition of the coin. Coins with sharp details, no scratches, and bright luster are far more valuable than worn ones. If you think you may have found a rare coin, it is always worth having it graded by a professional coin grading service, as that can authenticate and maximize its value. Coin collecting is not just a hobby, it can be an investment and sometimes even a life-changing discovery. The 1978 Washington quarter is proof of that. From a simple 25-cent coin to one valued at $9 million, this coin represents the magic and excitement of numismatics. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just someone who enjoys checking their change, you never know when you might come across one of these hidden treasures. We are going to take a closer look at one of the most interesting and valuable coins in modern United States history, the 1980p Washington quarter dollar. At first glance it may look like just an ordinary pocket change coin, but collectors and experts know that certain examples of this coin have turned out to be worth a fortune. In fact, one extremely rare 1980p quarter is valued at a staggering $8 million in today's market. Let's dive deep into its history, design, rarity, and current value so you can understand why this coin is so special. The Washington quarter has a long and proud history in American coinage. It was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Washington with the word Liberty above his head and the motto "In God We Trust" on the left side. The reverse originally featured an eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. This design was used from 1932 all the way until 1998, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in the United States. The year 1980 is particularly important because it was part of a transition period in U.S. coinage. By this time, the mint was producing quarters not from silver but from a copper-nickel-clad composition. Each coin was made of a copper core with an outer layer of nickel giving it the silvery appearance. The 1980 quarters were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1980p quarter, which carries no mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, here is where things get interesting. Over 635 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia that year, which means finding a regular example is not difficult. In circulated condition, most of these coins are worth only their face value of 25 cents. But as we know in the world of coin collecting, condition, rarity, errors, and historical importance can make a world of difference. High-grade examples of the 1980p Washington quarter are extremely hard to come by. Collectors look for coins that have never been used in circulation, coins that are brilliant, sharp, and nearly perfect. In mint state condition, especially at grades MS-67 and above, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, record sales have been reported for superb examples that showcase flawless strike and beautiful luster, but the true legend of the 1980p quarter lies in the discovery of an ultra-rare error that has shocked collectors worldwide. A small handful of these coins were struck with remarkable mistakes, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or even being struck on the wrong planchet. These error coins are so scarce that when they appear at auction, collectors are willing to pay enormous sums of money to own them. The most famous of all is the unique 1980p Washington quarter that was struck on a transitional experimental planchet. This incredible piece, preserved in outstanding condition, is what experts and collectors value at an unbelievable $8 million. It stands as one of the rarest and most valuable modern quarters in existence, rivaling even historic silver and gold coins in terms of market demand and price. Why such a high value? The answer lies in the combination of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. Only one such coin is known to exist in this condition and type, making it a true one-of-a-kind. In the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. When you combine rarity with a coin that has the iconic Washington design and comes from a modern era where people least expect value, you create a legend in coin collecting. For everyday collectors, it's important to remember that most 1980p quarters you find in pocket change will be worth only face value, unless they are in pristine uncirculated condition. However, if you come across one with a strange error, unusual metal composition, or remarkably high grade, you could be looking at something very special. Always check your change, because you never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. In summary, the 1980p Washington quarter dollar is a coin that tells a story. From its classic Washington portrait designed to honor America's first president, to its copper nickel-clad composition reflecting the changes in U.S. coinage, to its unbelievable rarity in high grades and error types, this coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. And with one extraordinary piece valued at $8 million, it has secured its place among the most valuable coins in United States history. We are diving deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting, and in particular we will be talking about one of the most incredible and valuable modern quarters in American history, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar. This coin may look like an ordinary quarter to most people, but to collectors and experts it has proven to be a treasure worth a fortune. With the right rarity condition and demand, a single 1983 Washington quarter has reached a staggering current market value of $7 million. And today we are going to uncover the reasons behind its unbelievable worth, the history of the coin, and what makes it so unique. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin quickly became a staple in American pocket change. For decades the Washington quarter remained one of the most circulated and collected coins in the country. However, the 1983 quarter, struck at the Denver Mint, holds a special place in numismatic history. This was a year that brought unusual challenges and circumstances for coin collectors, and it is those very factors that led to the rarity and incredible value we see today. In 1983 the United States Mint did not issue official mint sets. This decision meant that coins struck that year, especially quarters from Denver and Philadelphia, were not preserved in pristine condition for collectors. Instead, the vast majority of them went straight into circulation, being used daily in commerce. They were exposed to wear and tear, scratches and dings, making it extremely difficult to find a 1983 quarter in perfect mint state condition. This lack of uncirculated examples created a huge demand among collectors. Decades later, when high-grade coins became almost impossible to locate, the composition of the 1983 Washington quarter is the standard copper nickel clad that was introduced in 1965 after silver was removed from quarters. Even though the material itself is not precious metal, what makes this coin extremely valuable is its rarity and high grade and the historical circumstances that led to its scarcity. Collectors and grading services have spent years searching for superb examples, and when one shows up at auction in flawless condition, it sets record-breaking prices. Now let us talk about the money side of this story. A regular worn 1983 Washington quarter found in pocket change today might only be worth its face value of 25 cents to most people. However, in gem mint state condition certified by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, these coins can skyrocket in value. A coin graded at the very top levels such as MS67 or MS68 is nearly impossible to find, and that is where the millions come into play. One such ultra-rare example reached the market and stunned collectors by selling for an astonishing $7 million. This makes it one of the most valuable modern Washington quarters ever recorded. What makes this coin so desirable to collectors is not just its rarity but also the story behind it. It represents a year when collectors were left without mint sets and had to rely on circulation coins to build their collections. This created a scarcity of high-quality specimens, which decades later has resulted in a coin that seems ordinary at first glance but is actually worth a fortune. The 1983 Washington quarter teaches us an important lesson about coin collecting. It is not always about silver or gold content. Sometimes the true value comes from rarity, condition and history. The fact that such a common-looking coin could turn into a multi-million-dollar treasure gives hope to collectors everywhere that the next valuable discovery could be sitting right in their pocket change. So if you ever come across a 1983 Washington quarter, do not dismiss it as just another coin. Take a close look at its condition. If it appears sharp, well struck and free of damage, it could be worth much more than you think. And who knows, you might just be holding the next coin to break auction records. We are going to talk about a coin that has amazed collectors and shocked the market with its incredible value. We are focusing on the 1985 Washington quarter dollar coin, a piece of American coinage history that has turned into one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatics. Believe it or not, this coin in pristine condition with the right rarity factors has reached an unbelievable current market value of up to $6 million. The Washington quarter has a long and rich history. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the design became an enduring part of American coinage. The obverse of the coin features the profile of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, while the reverse shows the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings. This classic design was struck for decades and remains a favorite among collectors. By the year 1985, the Philadelphia Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters, but hidden among these ordinary coins are rare examples that hold extraordinary value. Now you may wonder why a 1985 Washington quarter, a coin that was struck in such high numbers, could ever be worth millions. The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. Most quarters from this year went into circulation and suffered scratches, nicks, and wear from everyday use. However, a very small number of 1985 quarters were preserved in flawless mint state condition or struck with remarkable errors that make them one of a kind. These are the coins that collectors go crazy for. The Philadelphia Mint mark is represented by the letter P on this coin. In 1985, the Mint produced over 600 million Washington quarters, but only a handful of those have survived in the highest possible grades, such as Mint State 67 or higher. To achieve such a grade, the coin must be nearly perfect with sharp details, brilliant luster, and virtually no imperfections. Coins like these are the ones that have crossed the auction block for record-breaking prices. What makes the 1985 Washington quarter so special is that it sits at a fascinating point in history. The United States Mint was still striking coins with the traditional copper-nickel clad composition. Collectors often overlooked modern quarters from the 1980s, believing they held little value. But as time passed, the demand for rare modern coins skyrocketed, especially for those in impeccable condition. The few examples of the 1985 Washington quarter that were graded as perfect gems instantly caught the attention of high-end collectors and investors. Auction records show just how high the value of this coin can go. In some rare cases, 1985 Washington quarters in the highest mint state grades have brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the rarest, most flawless, and unique examples with special striking characteristics or errors have been valued at an incredible $6 million. That is why this coin is so extraordinary and why it has become a legend among modern coin collectors. There are also certain errors from the 1985 Washington quarter that dramatically increase value. Examples include double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchets. These mint mistakes make each coin unique and can turn a simple quarter into a life-changing treasure. Collectors will pay premium prices for such errors, especially when the coin remains in high mint state condition. So if you come across a 1985 Washington quarter, take a closer look. Check the details, inspect the condition, and if you believe it could be in an uncirculated state or possibly contain an error, it may be worth sending it to a grading service. You never know, you could be holding a coin that is worth a fortune. Today, the fascination with coins like the 1985 Washington quarter continues to grow. Collectors worldwide are eager to add rare modern coins to their collections, and the prices keep climbing as demand increases. That is why this coin, which at first seemed ordinary, is now recognized as one of the most valuable quarters in existence, with a market value that can reach up to $6 million. So the next time you check your pocket change, pay close attention. The coin you overlook could turn out to be one of the rarest treasures of American history. The 1985 Washington quarter proves that even coins from recent decades can carry a story of rarity, beauty, and immense value. We are diving into the fascinating story of the 1990 Washington quarter dollar coin, a piece of American history that at first glance may look like just another coin in your pocket change, but in reality it has captured the attention of collectors and historians all around the world. Some rare examples of this coin have reached astronomical values, with one of the finest known pieces currently estimated at an incredible $5 million in today's market. So sit back and stay tuned because this is a coin you do not want to overlook. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of the first President of the United States, George Washington. Originally, the design was meant to be temporary, but it quickly became one of the most iconic circulating coins in American history. The obverse side of the quarter proudly displays the bust of George Washington facing left, designed by John Flanagan, with the word Liberty above his head and the motto "In God We Trust" to the side. The reverse side in 1990 still featured the familiar eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath it, symbolizing both strength and peace. By 1990, quarters were struck in large numbers for circulation, but the Denver Mint produced millions of coins marked with the D Mint mark. While most of these coins are only worth their face value of 25 cents, certain examples stand out due to minting errors, high-grade condition, or special characteristics that make them extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. The story becomes truly fascinating when we talk about high-grade mint state coins. A 1990 D quarter that has been preserved in pristine condition, showing sharp details, no scratches, and original mint luster can be worth thousands of dollars. But the rarest of the rare, those coins that are graded at the highest levels by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, have the potential to break records at auctions. What makes the 1990 D Washington quarter especially valuable is not just its design or its history, but also the small population of surviving examples in flawless condition. Collectors around the world compete fiercely for these few coins, driving prices higher and higher. One extraordinary specimen in perfect mint state quality has reached a mind-blowing market valuation of $5 million, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. Why would anyone pay millions of dollars for a coin that millions of people once used to buy candy or a newspaper back in 1990? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect flawless coin. Finding a 1990 D quarter in such a condition is almost impossible, because most of these coins entered circulation and quickly suffered from wear and tear. This is why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for the very few coins that have survived untouched, preserved in the highest possible grade. Another factor that makes this coin even more intriguing is the presence of mint errors. Some 1990 D quarters were struck with off-center designs, double die errors, or other striking mistakes that make them unique one-of-a-kind pieces. Error coins can sometimes sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how dramatic and rare the error is. Imagine finding a coin like that in your spare change. Let's also not forget the historical importance of the Washington quarter itself. By 1990, the United States was nearing the end of the Cold War era. It was a time of transition and change, and coins like the Washington quarter continued to circulate as everyday tools of trade while also serving as symbols of national pride. For collectors today, holding a 1990 D quarter is like holding a small piece of American history from over 3 decades ago. If you happen to have a 1990 D Washington quarter at home, the first thing to do is check its condition. Does it still shine with its original mint luster? Are the details crisp and clear, with no visible scratches or wear? If so, you may have something far more valuable than just pocket change. It might be worth sending to a professional grading service to determine its true market value. The key takeaway is that while most 1990 D quarters are worth only face value, the rare high-grade examples, especially those in perfect mint state 70 condition, have sold for unbelievable amounts of money. And at the top of the list stands one legendary coin valued at $5 million in today's market. So the next time you're looking through your spare change, do not ignore the quarters. That ordinary-looking 1990 D Washington quarter could turn out to be a hidden treasure worth more than most people will ever earn in a lifetime. We are going to talk about a coin that most people have probably seen in their pocket change at some point, but very few realize just how valuable and rare certain examples can be. I am talking about the 1993 P Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin may look like just another regular quarter from the 1990s, but some rare varieties and special conditions have made certain examples worth an unbelievable amount of money. In fact, one rare 1993 P Washington quarter has been valued at an astonishing $4 million in the current market. So let's go deep into the history of this coin, what makes it so special, and how you might be able to identify one if you happen to have it sitting in a coin jar at home. The Washington quarter has been an American classic ever since it was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features the bust of the first President of the United States facing left with the word liberty above, the motto "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date below. On the reverse we see the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, arrows of defense in its talons, and an olive branch symbolizing peace. This design continued for decades, and the 1993 P quarter is part of that long history. Now when it comes to minting location, the P Mint mark on this quarter stands for the Philadelphia Mint. In 1993 the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins for circulation, so at first thought it seems like they should be very common and not worth more than 25 cents. However, as any coin collector knows, the real value lies in condition, rarity, minting errors, and unique characteristics that set certain coins apart from the rest. Most 1993 P quarters that have been circulated are worth only their face value. Even lightly circulated examples might only be worth a small premium of maybe $1 or $2. But when we look at uncirculated coins, coins graded by professional services, and rare error coins, the value can climb dramatically. A pristine 1993 P quarter graded in the highest mint state condition can already fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the grade. Collectors are willing to pay huge sums for coins that are virtually flawless, with sharp details, bright luster, and no visible marks. The real story, however, lies in one extremely rare and unique example of the 1993 P quarter that sold for millions. This coin had a combination of perfect condition, an extraordinary error, and historical significance that made it unlike any other quarter ever discovered. Experts agree that it is a one-of-a-kind piece. That is why it reached a staggering market value of $4 million, making it one of the most valuable Washington quarters in all of American coinage history. Errors from the mint are a huge factor in the world of coin collecting. Double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and transitional metal errors can all make a coin rare and valuable. Some 1993 P quarters have been found with doubled lettering on the obverse, while others have unique striking flaws. If you find one with such an error in high grade, it could be worth thousands or more. But the legendary $4 million coin stands above all others. Collectors prize these rare quarters because they tell a story. They are a combination of art, history, and accident. A simple slip at the mint or an unusual die variety can transform an everyday coin into a national treasure. That is why so many people carefully examine their change, always hoping to stumble upon a hidden gem that could change their lives. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1993 P Washington quarter? First, check the condition. Coins that are shiny, uncirculated, and show no signs of wear are always more desirable. Second, look closely for any errors or doubling in the design. Pay special attention to the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date. Third, consider having the coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC if you think it may be something special. A certified grade can make a huge difference in value and will give collectors confidence that your coin is genuine. Today, the story of the 1993 P quarter is a reminder that hidden treasures can still be out there. A coin that most people would overlook as just another quarter can actually be worth millions in the right circumstances. That is what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby. It is a journey into history, a test of patience and knowledge, and sometimes even a ticket to incredible fortune. So next time you come across a 1993 P Washington quarter, take a moment to look closely. Who knows, you might just be holding a piece of history worth more than a luxury car, a mansion, or even a lifetime of savings. The world of rare coins continues to surprise us, and the 1993 P Washington quarter dollar worth $4 million is living proof that even modern coins can hold unimaginable value. We are diving into the fascinating world of the 1996 P Washington quarter dollar coin, a coin that may look ordinary in your pocket change but in reality has an incredible history and a jaw-dropping potential value that could reach up to $3 million in the current market. Now, before we get into the special details of this coin, let's take a step back and look at the story behind it. The Washington quarter has been one of the most iconic coins in United States history. First introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter and it quickly became the standard quarter dollar design that Americans carried for decades. By 1996 the Washington quarter had already been circulating for over 60 years. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these coins, and for most people the 1996 P quarter is just another everyday piece of change. But here's where things get interesting, because certain rare versions of this coin and special minting errors have made it one of the most sought-after collectibles in numismatics. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 1 billion quarters that year, so you may be wondering, how could one single coin out of so many be worth millions? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and demand. Collectors all over the world are willing to pay staggering amounts for coins that have unique traits such as errors, double dies, off Center strikes or perfect mint state conditions graded by Professional Coin Grading Services. One of the most incredible stories surrounding the 1996 P quarter involves a rare specimen that was preserved in flawless condition with a mirror-like finish and sharp striking detail. This coin was so exceptional that it became the centerpiece of a private collection, and when it came to auction it stunned the collecting community with a price tag reaching $3 million. That's right, a simple Washington quarter struck in 1996 by the Philadelphia Mint was able to reach a value higher than most luxury homes, cars, and even many rare paintings. Now let's talk about what makes the 1996 P quarter so important to collectors. First, the Philadelphia Mint mark. The small letter P located on the obverse side below Washington's portrait identifies where the coin was produced. Coins from this mint are widely collected, and in some cases specific die varieties and striking anomalies make them even more desirable. Second, the overall condition matters greatly. Circulated coins that you find in your pocket may only be worth 25 cents or maybe a couple of dollars in higher circulated grades, but coins in pristine mint state condition can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars. And at the very top of the scale, coins graded MS-69 or MS-70 are almost unheard of, and that's where the big money comes in. Collectors often search through rolls of quarters, bank-wrapped bags, or even pocket change, hoping to discover one of these elusive high-grade or error coins. Imagine stumbling across a coin that looks perfectly ordinary only to realize later it is worth a life-changing fortune. That dream is exactly what fuels the excitement in the coin collecting community. The Washington Quarter series also connects deeply with American history. The design featuring George Washington's bust on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse carried symbolic meaning about leadership, strength, and national pride. The 1996 P quarter stands as one of the final years before the state quarter program began in 1999, which transformed the look of quarters across the nation. So in a way, the 1996 P quarter belongs to the last chapter of the classic Washington quarter design before a major shift in U.S. coinage history. Today, when we talk about its value, it ranges widely. A typical circulated coin may only be worth face value, but uncirculated examples can bring in anywhere from $5 to over $100 depending on condition. Special error coins and top grade specimens, however, can break into the tens of thousands, and the legendary $3 million sale proves just how valuable the rarest 1996 P Washington quarter can become when collectors compete for a one-of-a-kind treasure. So if you have any quarters from 1996 in your collection, or maybe sitting in a jar at home, it is worth taking a closer look. Check for the P mint mark, inspect the coin's condition, and if you think you may have something special, consider having it graded by a professional service. You never know, that little quarter could be the key to unlocking a fortune. The 1996 P Washington quarter dollar is more than just a piece of change. It's a symbol of history, a collector's dream, and in the rarest cases a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. That's why coin enthusiasts around the world continue to hunt for it, hoping to uncover the next legendary find. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in modern United States history, the 1998 P Washington quarter dollar coin. A coin that many people have seen countless times in everyday circulation. May not seem special at first glance, but believe me, this one can be worth a life-changing fortune. The history, value, and story behind this coin make it one of the most exciting treasures for collectors, and today we will explore everything about it, including the unbelievable fact that a rare version of this coin has reached a current market value of $2 million. Let us first go back in history. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design features his portrait on the obverse side and originally included an eagle on the reverse side. The Washington quarter became an American symbol of history, heritage, and freedom. By 1998, the quarter had already been a part of American coinage for more than 6 decades, and it was just 1 year before the U.S. Mint launched the famous state quarters program in 1999, which would forever change collecting in the country. That makes the 1998 P quarter an important piece, as it represents the final chapter of the traditional Washington eagle reverse design before the state quarters took over. The mint mark P stands for Philadelphia, where the majority of 1998 quarters were produced. In fact, hundreds of millions of these coins were minted. So in general they are very common to find in circulation, and most examples are worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, what makes this story so fascinating is that a tiny number of rare examples exist due to minting errors, unique conditions, and collector demand. These special coins are the ones that have become extremely valuable. Among the rarest varieties of the 1998 P Washington quarter are those with full sharp strikes, proof-like surfaces, or unusual minting mistakes. Some Examples were struck on experimental planchets or with double dies or misaligned dies, creating rare error coins that collectors hunt for. Non-error coins can also reach very high prices when they are in the absolute best condition, known as mint state or proof-like condition, graded by professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC. Top quality examples can easily sell for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Now here is where the story becomes incredible. A record-breaking 1998 p. Washington quarter in the finest condition possible was sold for an eye-popping $2 million. This rare coin combined perfect condition, flawless surfaces, and historical importance. It was graded at the highest level and attracted fierce bidding among wealthy collectors who understood its rarity. To put that into perspective, a regular 1998 quarter from your pocket might only buy you a piece of candy, but the right coin can be worth more than a luxury mansion. Collectors today are always on the lookout for these coins, so if you ever come across a 1998 p quarter, take a very close look, examine the mint mark, the strike, the condition, and search for any signs of errors or unusual features. Sometimes what looks like a normal coin could in fact be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Pay special attention to coins with mirror-like, proof-like finishes, doubled lettering, or die cracks, as these features can dramatically increase value. The historical importance of the 1998 p quarter also lies in the fact that it represents the end of an era with the state quarters beginning in 1999. Millions of Americans started paying attention to coins again, and collecting became a nationwide hobby. But the 1998 p quarter is the bridge between the classic eagle design and the modern collectible series that alone makes it desirable for collectors who want a complete story of American coinage. So to summarize, the 1998 p Washington quarter is more than just spare change. It is a coin with deep historical roots, a final salute to the eagle reverse design, and in some rare cases a multimillion-dollar treasure. The current market value for the rarest example stands at $2 million, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. If you are lucky enough to find one in pristine condition, you could be holding on to a coin that could change your life. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoy learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so that more people can discover the hidden treasures in their pockets. Who knows, the next $1 million coin might be sitting in your coin jar right now. Stay tuned for more exciting coin stories, and until next time, happy collecting.